We're back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. After a quick absence, we are back. Let's just dive right into it. On this week's episode of the Ryan Canfield Show, we have a jam-packed show for you. We are previewing both semifinals of the college football playoff, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Alabama, Cincinnati, and the Orange Bowl, Michigan and Georgia. It's going to be a great time. Got a lot of information for you guys about those two games. And we got bowl controversy. Got a lot of cancellations. Got some funny bowl names we want to present to you guys. It's going to be a great show. We also give our picks for the entire New Year's 6 games. It's all coming up on the Ryan Canfield Show. Okay, we're in the middle of recording the Spider-Man review, and we just heard that the Holiday Bowl is going to get canceled, so that's the season for Gus and Joel. So, in honor of the Holiday Bowl getting canceled, I will be performing the Holiday Bowl theme song. I found out long ago, oh, it's a long way down to the Holiday Bowl, oh, Holiday Bowl, oh, Holiday Bowl, oh my goodness, Holiday Bowl, oh, Holiday Bowl, oh, yeah, that's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. All right, hope you enjoyed the podcast. All right, we're back. After a little absence, might as well call it a holiday absence. Had some school stuff going on that I had to attend to, so I don't think I addressed Michigan being the Big Ten champions. That's right. There we go. All right, something to address real quick. Drew, once again, out of studio, so I had to call up one of my homeboys. Connor Lane is in studio with us. Connor, how does it feel to be here?
Feels great. I wanted to do this for a long time, so doing this for the first time is pretty fun, and probably won't be the last.
Oh, all right. So, let's get into it. The college football playoff. First of all, the fact that Michigan is finally in the college football playoff is like a blessing. I know the college football playoff to me is like my favorite thing in the world. I mean, back when it first started, I loved it so much. I mean, I still do love it, but I mean, it's kind of lost some steam with all the blowouts and lack of close games. But Michigan is in the college football playoff. Your thoughts, Connor, on Michigan being in the playoff?
It's probably one of the best seasons I've ever watched for my team, Michigan. I mean, I didn't watch them a lot when they were young, so like the 2013 season, I believe, when they beat Ohio State or something like that.
Did not beat Ohio State. 2011.
2011, so 10 years ago. Forgot. Yeah, this is probably one of the best teams I've ever watched for them. It's going to be the biggest game I've ever watched in my life for any of my sports teams because, you know, being a Detroit fan, you don't get to see a lot as of recent.
But we love Detroit, right?
Yep.
No, would never root for any other city than Detroit.
Nope. Never.
Never, ever. All right. So, let's dive right into it. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. You know, I didn't write any notes. There's no notes on the running doc. Drew and I have a running doc where we put our notes on it. So I decided to whip out my big, like, less than 20 minutes ago before we started recording, I decided to whip out my big whiteboard, which hasn't been touched since December 2020. So, let's take a look over here. So, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Number 1, Alabama. Number 4, Cincinnati. Some quick keys to the game. For Cincinnati, it's simple. You gotta utilize your weapons. My goodness, I'm not good with use. And I'm looking at Jerome Ford, obviously Desmond Ritter with his dual threat capabilities, and then they have a receiver named Pierce. I don't know his first name. I'm too lazy to look it up, but his last name is Pierce. He played pretty well in the American Championship game, and then this is gonna sound a little weird, but Urban Meyer had a good quote on Big Noon Kickoff or big noon Saturday when Michigan lost to Wisconsin. He said you gotta prop up the hood and figure out if something is going wrong. Cincinnati can totally win this game, but if something is going wrong, pick apart the Alabama defense and attack that part. Funny, Urban Meyer says to open the hood and figure out what's wrong with the team when he can't figure out what was wrong with his team. So,
Kicking the hood.
and then on defense, you got the the Thorpe Award winner, Kobe Bryant, and Sauce Gardner, two huge corners. And they both could have won the Thorpe Award, but they're both fantastic. And with the absence of John Mechie, this opens something up for Cincinnati, where you got to have guys like I'm blanking here. It just can't be. It can't just be Jamison Williams. I wrote it down over here. It just can't be Williams. It's got to be Slade Bolden and Billingsley. They gotta do their part. And if Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner, they need to lock up so that, or all the back four aside from the front seven, they all need to lock up and just create holes, or just create, or take away all the holes and throwing places where Bryce Young can throw, so that the front seven can go get to him. Of course, Alabama has a great offensive line. I believe Evan Neal is his name. He's a top 5 prospect. And then with the Alabama defense, just do what you've been doing. Jordan Battle and Will Anderson will do their thing. And it's just if Cincinnati's offense can get past that, they have a good shot to win. I think Cincinnati will cover. Not sure of the line. I think it's like 13 or something. But I think that Cincinnati will cover. Anything to add here, Connor?
Yeah, Bryce is going to be protected. We know that. So he's going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. So Cincinnati's going to have to get to him. They have a great offensive line, like you said. Mechie's out. So, they have some people next man up. But, Alabama has all that talent. So, just if they can do it on the big stage, and it's a big game. Cincinnati, you've never seen a group of 5 team been there. Never seen them do it. So
it would be nice to see them win, especially if Michigan wins.
It'd be great.
Let's see. We haven't talked about the Heisman Trophy, like the winner. Bryce Young totally deserved the Heisman. Sad Hutch couldn't get there, but he couldn't get it. But I mean, yeah, Bryce Young, he's he deserves it. So, all right, that's enough for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. And Connor has pulled up the line. It says 13.5 to Alabama. All right, it's time for the big one. The Capital One Orange Bowl. I watched the Brandon Walker college football show, one of my favorite college football shows, yesterday. Brandon Walker, my good friend Brandon Walker, said that this could be the greatest game in the history of the college football playoff. And I agree. But something's got to give here. Will it be a defensive battle? Will it be one of those games where the defense going into the game is thought of to be like the big part, and then offense just breaks everything, and it's like a big shootout? I would personally love that. I love shootouts. But let's take a deep dive right in here. So looking back at my notes, we got key points that allow Michigan to win. Michigan's offense. So you got to use the first. I think you got to use the first 2 drives, depending on field position, to see what works, and whether that's finding bright points on offense, seeing if Michigan hasn't lost their spark from the last couple weeks. As we all know, Georgia's defense is historic. There's really nothing beyond that. I mean, Georgia's defense is fantastic. You're going to say something, Connor?
No, just agreeing.
All
it's
right.
probably one of the best defenses ever in college football history. Maybe not ever, but
yeah,
it's up there.
You got Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith, Devontae Wyatt, and of course the big man Jordan Davis. Boy, this is gonna. I'm just speechless knowing that Michigan's in this game. But anyway, let's keep going. Test out the run and the pass and stick to what works. Like Blake Corum, get Blake Corum out in space. See if Hassan Haskins can pick apart that Georgia D line, and because he's been doing it to good defenses. I mean, mediocre defense in Ohio State, a pretty good defense of Iowa, and you got to get your playmakers open and allow them to go make plays. And I'm looking at Mike Sainristil, who is a great downfield threat. Roman Wilson, who can find open gaps, and of course the speedster, a fan favorite on the Ryan Canfield show, Andrell Anthony. And then also develop ways to involve Eric All, who's been a huge part of the back end of the season. Connor, you have anything to add about Michigan's offense?
I think it's better than Georgia. Depends who starts for Georgia at their QB position.
Oh, yeah. JT Daniels will not be playing. He is out. And I believe I'm seeing some mixed stuff about George Pickens. Either way, if he doesn't play, I think that's basically a good assessment of Georgia's offense all season. They've had him for like less than 5 games, I believe. I mean, I don't watch Georgia biblically, but I don't know if Pickens. I looked up yesterday while preparing for the podcast. I think there is time for him to play coming out of protocols. I'm just not sure. I saw something on MGO blog about him not playing, so it's interesting. And we'll get to Michigan's COVID issue in just a second. So, Hassan Haskins must break the defense and do what he does best. And a little something to add here. Michigan's veterans who, like, players that have been on this team since even 2018-19, they want this. And I know they want this. And Aiden Hutchinson wants this. Caden McNamara wants this. He's been saying that this team is different. And, you can just tell in the emotion in his voice after the Nebraska game interview, after the Ohio State interview, and my personal favorite, the Penn State interview with my girl Molly McGrath. He wants this. And Hassan Haskins doesn't really talk much, but you can tell at the end of the Big Ten championship game, Harbaugh had those 3 right all beside each other, and they were all smiling, they were happy, and they want this. So I'm just so excited. All right, keep going with Michigan offense. If all else fails, as I said, go to your playmakers to make plays, and maybe even, if worse comes to worse, sprinkle in a little bit of J.J. McCarthy in there every so often. I'm not saying bench Cade, because he's proven himself that he can do this, and, J.J. he's prone to make some mistakes, as we saw in the Michigan State game, so, maybe throw him in there a couple of plays. I'm a big fan of the Corum McCarthy package that we saw first in the Ohio State game, and then in the Big Ten championship game with, of course, the 67-yarder, I think 67, with JJ getting down the field to go block for his man Blake Corum. So, and then the final thing about Michigan's offense, you got to respond. Have an answer for everything that Georgia throws at the entire team on both sides of the ball. If Georgia gets a touchdown, go show why you're elite and why you're in this game. Go answer, go respond. If Georgia gets a big confidence-boosting play on defense, like a big sack, strip sack, fumble, pick six, something like that, go show why you're elite and answer the call, because no more time for excuses. I had major doubts about this team, and I know that they can do it now. I know they can do it, and this game is very winnable, but they also got to be careful. Connor, your thoughts?
I think you forgot one big name.
Oh, yeah?
Talking about this is Donovan Edwards.
Oh.
He, he had that beautiful pass in the Big Ten championship, and he's shown some good runs and stuff like that. And I think during this Georgia game, if Georgia goes up early, they do have to respond. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. We might see some Jim Harbaugh tricks like we've seen in the Maryland game, the Big Ten championship, and I believe in the Ohio State game there was one too.
Flea flickers in there.
Some crazy stuff that he's been doing lately.
And the A.J. Henning first touchdown. The fake out Edwards pass. Cade still he keeps the ball, gives it to AJ Henning for the reverse. So I mean, Michigan hasn't really like I've been watching Michigan games for 12. I mean, I've been going to games for like 14 years, watching games, remembering games for 12. I've never seen Michigan do this many trick plays in a season, and I mean, as I'm still a kid, seeing like fun ways to make this team like showing this team having fun with trick plays, it's awesome. So I mean, everybody loves a good trick play now and then. So also on Twitter, I saw a picture of Haskins, Corum, Edwards, and Mike Hart in a little picture, and it said thunder, lightning, and hail. Isn't that funny?
Great.
Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, we'll take a short break, and we'll come talk to you about the Michigan defense in a second. All right, so some news out of the Michigan camp. Well, I mean, camp, locker room stuff. Daxton Hill reportedly did not make the trip to Miami. Maybe he still can play if they get him down there. If he tests negative and he gets down there quickly. I'm not sure how that all works, but I mean, next man up for this is the mentality. And I'm looking at a guy like Rod Moore, who proved himself in the biggest game. I mean, he's a freshman. The Ohio State game could be the biggest game of his career, and he's only a freshman. So he's played pretty well. He survived Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is my nickname for the Ohio State receiving corps. So I mean, I got trust in Rod Moore. It's a shame that Daxton Hill can't play, and if he does, we're back to square one. Hopefully, he'll be back for the national championship. All right, let's break down this Georgia offense, Michigan defense. So, most people think when you think of Georgia, you think of their defense and not their offense. Most people think that Georgia's offense is already done for due to the absence of JT Daniels, but he's been placed in COVID protocols, as we just said. So people think that their offense is done, and I think that's not true. You got Stetson Bennett, who isn't the greatest, but he survived in the SEC. I mean, I'm not sure. I've heard some SEC fans saying that Stetson Bennett, he can beat Arkansas, he can beat Tennessee, but he can't beat Alabama in big games. And I mean, that's true. So I'm excited to see how Michigan attacks Stetson, and how he plays. And then Georgia's offense, while not explosive as Michigan, still solid. A name that is known to burn Michigan in the Orange Bowl is Cook versus Dalvin in 2016. Can James Cook do the same? I'm not sure. Georgia does kind of have a two-headed monster, thunder and lightning-esque running attack with James Cook, and a guy I have spoken highly of in the past is Zamir White, and I think a big key for them is to utilize them, see if they can get past Michigan, and Georgia's receivers aren't the greatest, so I'm looking to the tight ends. Brock Bowers, a true freshman, and big Darnell Washington. You always need to have a big tight end, as it's been working for Michigan for a while. You got Eric All, you got Zach Gentry, who's a tall guy, Jake Butt, whose reputation isn't good in Orange Bowls. Jake Butt is a great guy, by the way. Met him at the Rutgers game. Super chill dude. And then for Michigan to be successful against the offense, David and Hutch need to pressure Stetson to throw dangerously. And whether that's into traffic or out of play, like pressure him and just make some desperation throws, which could be picked off or could lead to some sacks. So, yeah, Connor, what is your assessment on Georgia's offense?
I mean, it's not great, but obviously they did it well enough to, be one of the best or the best team in the SEC. I mean, Alabama's probably the best because they beat them, but they have a great running back, I think. Not better than his brother, but great. They have pretty above average players everywhere else, just not like Ohio State.
SEC caliber players.
Yeah.
And that's my next point. If Michigan's corners can survive Earth, Wind, and Fire, they can handle these guys. You got McIntosh. Pickens is going to be out. I have the lineup up here. I got Jermaine Burton and Adonai Mitchell. And my all name team, Lad McConkey, he had a touchdown in the SEC championship game. So yeah, back to what you were saying, Lane. These guys, I mean, I haven't seen great things from this offense, but they're still SEC caliber. They still got a lot of 4s and 5 stars out there, so they're not just throwing Rutgers not Rutgers. Rutgers. Congratulations to Rutgers for making the Gator Bowl by default, but they're not throwing like group of 5 players out there. They're not throwing like MAC players out there, so it could really go either way. So, yeah. So that's all I got for the Georgia offense. Oh, also Michigan's defense need to limit penalties at all cost, because I mean they've changed my perspective a little bit. Michigan's corners, that is, on what they can do in the secondary, and like last year, the Michigan State game really sticks out to me. A huge penalty prone secondary, and even though they did beat Ohio State with limiting penalties and Penn State with limiting penalties on a great receiver like Jahan Dotson, there's still a lot of room for error. So I hope they prove me wrong, though. I mean, I don't remember the last time. Well, I do remember the last time I saw a big penalty. It was Daxton Hill on the first drive of the Big Ten championship game, but that was basically it. That's like not much. Not many penalties have dragged Michigan down in any games this year. And when you think about the game that they lost, not thinking of penalties when it comes to mind. It's just, Kenneth Walker. But that's another debate for another time. So we'll take another quick break, and then we'll give you our thoughts on the bowl games that have already happened and are still to come. All right, we're back after a quick little Chick-fil-A break. If any Chick-fil-A representatives are watching or listening, please sponsor us. I eat Chick-fil-A every day. Gonna have some before the Orange Bowl. So now we have a little rant, if you will, about opt-outs and bowl games. Opt-outs are a cancer to bowl games, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's not just opt-outs. It's coaching carousels. It's also the transfer portal, which could be killing and making college football better. That's a whole different discussion. But simple as this: bowl games aren't the same anymore. Growing up, for me, I remember watching Michigan on New Year's Day. The only time that didn't happen was in 2014, the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, and then Michigan played on January 3rd, 2012 for the 2011 Sugar Bowl. And I remember all of those New Year's Day games and New Year's Six games be something to look forward to start the year off strong. And then just put a little cherry on top for the season. And now all the games just get worse and worse as days go on. And every day you hear somebody not playing in a game. This year somebody has COVID, which I think is stupid, but it's just, it really pains, it's a big gut punch to see a great game. For example, a game that is driven by star players, the Peach Bowl. These two teams would be nothing, and I mean nothing, without their star players, and especially for Michigan State. Kenneth Walker not playing in this game is just, we're going to see what State would be like without Kenneth Walker. And Pitt without Kenny Pickett is just mediocrity. I mean, they do got Jordan Addison, the Biletnikoff winner, but who's going to throw him the ball? Lane, your thoughts?
I think for certain games, opt-outs are fine, like Purdue versus Tennessee.
I mean, yeah, if your team's playing in the PapaJohns.com Bowl, maybe that's different.
Yeah, some random game, that's fine, because if you're a draft prospect, like to Purdue edge rusher. Oh my God,
George Karlaftis.
Yeah,
and David Bell.
Yeah, both of them. They can opt out. Like, the game means nothing to them.
Yep.
But when it comes to games like the Peach Bowl, when it's Michigan State versus Pitt, two very good teams this year, and they have two great players that carried the team, and they opt out, it ruins it, because no one wants to watch.
You're just ruining it.
No one wants to watch Peyton Thorne throw the ball. They want to see Kenneth Walker.
I want to
run
see
through
Kenneth
everyone.
Walker, and I hate Kenneth Walker. Not hate. I respect him as a Spartan. He is probably my favorite Michigan State player of all time. That's a fair take.
I mean, we have to respect
The most
him.
respectable. Kenneth Walker is the only thing that he's the only setback for Michigan this year. And honestly, I mean, if he didn't do that, if Kenneth Walker, and I'm not saying Michigan State, if Kenneth Walker didn't beat Michigan, oh boy, Michigan might have not even beat Ohio State. So I gotta thank Kenneth Walker for that. And going back to the actual game, this game could be a recruiting, like, if you don't go home without the Peach Bowl trophy, that's a huge recruiting swing and miss. That's, I mean, if State fans want to believe that they're the best team in the Big Ten, and they're kind of sad right now because they think they are, you want to win this game to just put a cherry on top of your season, a good season that you thought you had. So
it's a great season for State because they were supposed to be terrible. They were bottom of the Big Ten.
Yep.
And then they did great, which is great for them. But
Kenneth Walker did great.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker
sure,
did
whatever.
great.
Kenneth Walker did great. And
Jaden Reed also.
Ending the season where players are opting out and, like you said, recruiting. I mean, if you don't have players playing to win you the game, like Kenneth Walker will win State that game. Or would have won State that game if they do win, if he played.
And then, just thinking about past players that didn't opt out, I'm thinking, this can be like as soon as we just started talking about this, but Corey Davis did not opt out for Western in the Cotton Bowl, and he had an amazing touchdown in the Cotton Bowl. I remember Zach Terrell just threw up a random ball in the back of the end zone. And I remember Bob Wischusen calling it. Bob Wischusen and Brock Hewart calling it. And that catch might have boosted his draft stock. He was drafted number 5 in the draft. 5 through 8 by the Titans. And I saw something today that Matt Corral is playing in the Sugar Bowl.
I mean,
for him. I think he's playing. It's good for Matt Corral. Maybe will give me some perspective on why I shouldn't sleep on him when I want Kenny Pickett to come to Detroit. Yeah, that's right. Kenny Pickett, for future Detroit Lion. Kenneth Walker, future Buffalo Bill. And also, I don't think if Michigan didn't make the playoff, like if they just played they would have played in the Peach Bowl if they didn't make the playoff. I think Hutch wouldn't do that. I think Hill or Daxton Hill and Ajabo would have opted out. Same thing with Haskins, but Hutch is a Michigan guy. I don't think he would have done that. So, yeah, quick rant about opt-outs. I mean, the games are still going to be great.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State Notre Dame is going to be a pretty good game. I like that game.
Utah Ohio State.
Well, I have it on my board right here. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Nicholas Petit-Fier, and Haskell Garrett all not playing. And then I was reading online, Kyle Whittingham had some stuff to say about Devin Lloyd. He was praising him, so that could mean two things, like thanking him for what he did at Utah or praising him for playing in the Rose Bowl. I'm not sure. Devin Lloyd is going to be a top 10 prospect, so not sure what happens there. For these two games, which we'll get to our picks in just a second, I have no idea what's going to happen. I might not even pick the games, so we'll see. But yeah, quick little word on opt-outs. And then I was talking about this to some coworkers at work. What is their most bizarre bowl game name? And I was saying, you know what, we need to make a podcast about this. And we finished the holiday break, and you know what? Let's just talk about some funny bowl game names. So, I mean, you're a good 6-6 team. You got a good NFL prospect, and then your prospect opts out, and then now you're playing in the PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl. Okay, how did they get the money to have a name for this bowl game? Nobody's played PUBG the last 3 years. I remember I played PUBG Mobile once in 8th grade science class, and that was it. And they still have money to fund a bowl game? I mean, that's beyond me.
It's the overseas marketing. You know, they got a lot of players
from
other countries.
I didn't think about that.
But I don't know how that works because the countries like India that play PUBG, they don't watch I guarantee you that don't watch college football.
It's crazy,
like America.
But the PUBG New Mexico Bowl is probably one of my favorites. But from this year, but the greatest bowl game name ever, the Frisco Football Classic, presented by moi. That's right, the Frisco Football Classic, presented by Ryan. It was a great bowl game. I mean, it was a great success for all Ryans out there. Sadly I couldn't watch the game. I was at work, but it was a tremendous success. With who won? Who won again? Exactly. And then some funnier bowl game names. Back in the day, back when Duck Dynasty was in its prime, the Duck Commander Bowl is beyond me. That is so funny. Just bowl games would not be the same without ridiculous marketing and funny names. And then one of my all-time
Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio won the Frisco
Ryan
football.
Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah. They beat Mean Green, North Texas.
Wow. Great job for Miami of Ohio. Yeah, got nothing else to say there. But I'm not saying it. We just pulled up another one. But and then everybody's favorite, the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. Bad Boy Mowers hop onto the scene before taking over that dreaded ballroom in Atlantis, also known as the Battle for Atlantis. So yeah, those are some funny bowl names. There was a great article by Banner Society talking about some other really good ones. I'll link it in the description. Yeah, that's what we got for bowl games. So now it's time for our picks for New Year's Six slate on, I think every game is on the 30th,
Yep.
the 1st, and then the Fiesta Bowl's on, or no, the Sugar Bowl is on the 3rd. Okay. So.
No, there's no game on
the 30th.
30th. Oh yeah, there's
the Sugar Bowl.
Michigan State game's on the 30th. Obviously, college football playoff games are on New Year's Eve, and we have Wake Forest, Rutgers, and other games that are also on.
Aside from the New Year's Six bowls, which we won't be picking, but there's some really good games out there. Like, I'm excited to see Rutgers play A&M, A&M had to opt out. They're playing Wake, yeah?
Yes, Wake Forest.
All right, so let's get into it.
A&M opted out. That made Rutgers come in.
Yeah. So, thank you for voting on the polls on the Ryan Canfield Show Instagram account, at the Ryan Canfield Show. Go follow. Appreciate you guys for filling out the polls. The Fiesta Bowl. Is it still the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl? I'm not sure about the sponsoring on that one. The PlayStation Battle Frog Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. Is it PlayStation?
Yes.
Okay, so the Fiesta Bowl, Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. I do like Mike Gundy. He's a known choker. Before they lost the Big 12 championship, could you would have thought that? I couldn't have thought that the three biggest chokers in recent college football history would be in a playoff. You have Kirby Smart, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Gundy. All coaches that were kind of on the hot seat last year. That would have been crazy. But Oklahoma State choked against Dave Aranda and Baylor. So let's see. Oklahoma State. I think that Oklahoma State will win this game. Not sure on the opt-outs there. You want to Google that quick, Lane? See if Spencer Sanders and Malcolm Rodriguez are playing. I think that they're a better team than Notre Dame. Malcolm Rodriguez is an NFL player, most likely. Maybe a first-round draft pick. So, yeah, I got Oklahoma State. Lane, who you picking?
I think, I hate to say it, but I think Notre Dame's going to win. Only because Notre Dame hasn't got really just shown how good they are. And we've seen Oklahoma State. And I think Notre Dame has kind of, I don't know, they're a better team in my eyes. I don't know why. I don't like Notre Dame, but they've only really played one good team, so we don't know how good they are. But I think they're better than what people think. And I don't think they have many people sitting out or anyone. Maybe they're tight
Kyle
end.
Hamilton would have been sitting out,
yeah.
but he's hurt. So
I mean, they have
Kyron Williams is also not playing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all I could think of. Michael Mayer is a sophomore, I think. All right. Lane, that takes pretty ballsy take, but a fair one. So let's see here. The All-State Sugar Bowl, Ole Miss and Baylor. As we said, Matt Corral playing in this game. Another player that I was thinking of might not be playing was Dontario Drummond. And I'm going to Google right now to see if he's playing. But Matt Corral playing in this game is huge for Ole Miss. And actually, I think Dontario Drummond's transferring, so I'm not sure if he's playing. I saw on Twitter that he might be transferring. So Gary Bohannon on the other side of the ball for Baylor. I just think, surprisingly enough, this is Ole Miss. This is Ole Miss's first 10-win season in program history. That's a brain buster there. A historic program like Ole Miss has had their first 10-win season this year. That's mind-blowing, and I think they've claimed 3 national championships. So that's, people think that Michigan falsely claimed the national championship in 1997, when Ole Miss has claimed like 3, and this is their first 10-win season. That's mind-boggling. Anyway, I still think Ole Miss wins this game. Matt Corral's the difference. I do like Gary Bohannon. He's quite good. I think he was hurt for the Big 12 championship. Not sure if he's playing. But, yeah, Matt Corral wins this game for Ole Miss.
I agree with that. I mean, Matt Corral's playing, so that's confirmed. So it's definitely going to be his show. I mean, Baylor's coming off a huge win, Big 12 championship. So I think they're not going to be that team that they were then, because usually when teams have big wins, they fall off or get upset. I don't know if Ole Miss beating them is really an upset, but Matt Corral's playing. Matt Corral's going to the NFL. Matt Corral's better than everyone on Baylor, so I think Ole Miss is going to win the game.
All right, next game. I think Northwestern Mutual Rose Bowl game. Ohio State. Oh, no, sorry. It's the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual, I believe. I want to check the sponsor on that one, Lane. The Ohio State and Utah. We just talked about some of the opt-outs in that game. Capital One. That's right. So there's 2 Capital Ones. Capital One Rose Bowl and the Capital One Orange Bowl.
So they get the Capital One Venture X.
Yeah. It's presented by this certain credit card, which is pretty stupid. But I think the opt-outs for Ohio State dragged them down in this one. Cam Rising has been playing some really good ball. And I think Kyle Whittingham is still riding high. The motivation from this team of Aaron Lowe and Ty Jordan. One of probably the greatest storyline. Well, yeah, Michigan number 2. This is the greatest storyline in college football this year. Heartbreaking stories. I know Gene Wojciechowski, my good friend Gene Wojciechowski, met him at game day. Well, not really, but eye contact sparked our friendship. He had a really great piece on game day. It was Michigan State, Ohio State week. He had a great piece on Aaron Lowe and Ty Jordan. Rest in peace to both of them. And train keeps rolling for Utah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. Ohio State just has too many opt-outs. Two of their best players are opting out, and Utah doesn't look like they have any, or maybe I don't think they have any opt-outs of significance.
Pending Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, not confirmed yet, but even if he's not playing, I don't think that makes a big enough difference with Ohio State's opt-outs. And I know it was the beginning of the season, but Ohio State got beat by Oregon at home. And Utah murdered Oregon twice.
So the thing about the transitive property, especially in bowl season, is a lot different because when you're breaking down Oregon and Utah, well, one, Ohio State is a completely different team. And even the same way, when you're breaking down these two teams, like Ohio State and Michigan, they beat teams completely differently. Ohio State mollywopped Rutgers on the road, and Michigan only beat Rutgers by 7 at home. So the transitive property this late in the season, I think, isn't really working. But I think still Utah. So
Yeah.
okay, next the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Michigan State and Pitt. I honestly couldn't care about this game any less now that Kenneth Walker and Kenny Pickett aren't playing. So I'm going to pick Pitt just to prove everybody that I was right about Michigan State, that they are nothing without Kenneth Walker. Lane, go ahead.
I think Pitt is a better team without their Ken. Kenneth Walker and Kenny Pickett.
There we go.
They're a better team. Michigan State hasn't really done anything without Kenneth Walker. I mean, Pitt hasn't done anything without Kenny Pickett either.
So it's a clean slate for one game.
Yeah, but so, I think Kenneth Walker makes a bigger impact than
that's a good take.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Because,
just for their teams.
Because you got Jordan Addison, the Blitnikoff winner, on the other side. Or on his...
Yeah. Pitt has a better team all around other than Kenneth Walker, but he's not playing.
Kenneth Walker is the entire Michigan State team. Let's move on. Also,
and Jalen Naylor is sitting out, so that is
he broke his wrist, I think. He's been hurt since the Michigan game.
Maybe...
Jaden Reed, possibly?
Oh, Jalen Naylor is playing in the Peach Bowl. Sorry.
Okay, good for him.
He is playing. That's
that he's healthy. Okay, quick note here. Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi, former Michigan State defensive coordinator. Back when State was really good, he was the defensive coordinator there. His last game at State was the 2014 Cotton Bowl when they beat Baylor. So I know they played in the Cotton Bowl the next year. So Pat Narduzzi looking for a win against his former team. I can't say if this is going to be a great game or not because I don't know. Whatever. Okay, the big ones. Alabama, Cincinnati in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic College Football Playoff Semifinal. 3:30. Dallas, Texas on New Year's Eve. Connor, go.
Well, what I'm looking at right now is a pretty interesting fact about Alabama is that they don't have Mechie anymore, obviously, tore his ACL. And Jameson Williams is great too. But after that, they have no receivers that have over 333 receiving yards, which is huge because Cincinnati has very good defensive backs. So, but Alabama, obviously, it's Alabama. They have 5 stars on 5 stars, 4 stars on 4 stars at every position. So they obviously have the players, they have the talent at wide receiver. It's just that they can do it on that stage. I think Alabama's still going to win. They have a great QB, Heisman winning QB. Cincinnati also has a great QB, but I still think Alabama comes out. I mean, Alabama's just the better team everywhere. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, it pains me to say it, but I think Alabama wins. I think Cincinnati covers the 13. I just think that Alabama pulls away late in the fourth quarter.
It's Alabama.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. Yeah. Really, it's Alabama.
I do love Desmond Ridder. Great story at Cincinnati. I'm happy for all Cincinnati fans and I'm happy for the whole group of 5 that they get to be represented here. But I mean, it's Alabama. You just can't. I mean, maybe shades of Alabama, Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, A&M, Alabama come out. But the reason, okay, I'm saying this because it's not the reason because Cincinnati can't hang with them. I think they can. I think they cover. It's not because they're a group of 5 team. It's just because they're Alabama. So, I mean, yeah.
It's Alabama. It's all you have to say. It's Alabama. They have
It'll be interesting to see
everything.
how Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner can hang with Jay Will. And as you just said, they don't have any other threats that have been displayed this season. So you need Billingsley and Slade Bolden to show out. All right. The moment everybody has been waiting for. Michigan and Georgia in the Capital One Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, Hard Rock Stadium, 7:30. Oh man, I'm so excited for this game. You know what? I'm done with the whole analytics and stuff and the whole dive down into this game. Michigan wins. Enough said. Michigan has the motivation to win this game. Georgia, all the life has been sucked out of Georgia. They have the players, they have the talent. All the life out of Georgia has been sucked out by Nick Saban. Michigan wins.
I'm gonna go into some COVID problems.
Oh
that
yeah,
Georgia
we did not talk about this. Go ahead, Lane. Whole COVID report for both teams.
So COVID, we definitely already talked about Dax Hill, but
no, we didn't. We talked about JT and Pickens.
Okay, so
Dax
Dax Hill
Hill did not make the trip down to Miami, which has been breaking news
this morning.
Yeah.
Not confirmed, but very trustworthy rumors, I guess you could say.
It pains me to say that. I mean, it doesn't pain me because it's it's a common theme, but Michigan could possibly get screwed here without Daxton Hill.
Yeah.
So
for Georgia, Stetson Bennett had a terrible SEC championship, and JT Daniels, on the other hand, is COVID bound, or not COVID bound, but has COVID, or is in the protocol. However it works, I don't know. There's so much going on with the COVID issues that I can't even keep track. And then also their wide receiver George Pickens. I don't know if they're gonna be able to play. I don't know how this is gonna work. I mean, we were three days away from the game, not including today.
I'm not sure. I've lost track.
I don't care. I know the game is at 7:30 on New Year's Eve, and it's gonna be one of the best nights ever. I don't care if Michigan loses. It's still one of the best seasons I've ever watched from one of my teams, and I'm very excited to watch this game.
It's gonna be awesome.
I've been waiting for it for a while. I mean, if you look at it weather-wise, Georgia plays in the South and Michigan doesn't. I don't know if that matters, but it could come in the factor somehow, some way, because Hard Rock is open. I think they can close it, but it probably
they
can't close it, so it will be open. So they're gonna feel
it's gonna be a great game.
The Florida weather.
Also, so you're picking Michigan?
Right now I'm picking Michigan.
Okay, I think. Well, Michigan will cover. There's a better chance that Michigan covers than wins, but I'm picking Michigan. You think I'm not going to pick my team going into the college football playoff? We have to pick Michigan. Okay, also, this was meant for the bowl game, or after we talked about Michigan, but the result of this game does not take away the magical season that Michigan has had. Anyone that does should be stripped of their fanhood. Win or lose, this season is an astronomical W. I've said it many times. My expectations after the Ohio State game, I had a good bit on that episode. The Ohio State or the Iowa preview is what it's titled. Go check that out if you don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, I had no expectation for this team, and now they're coming out in the college football freaking playoff. It's amazing.
Yeah,
so
I mean, at the beginning of the season, I said something, and a lot of people can quote me on. I was like, last year, terrible year, probably. I mean, it was COVID, so obviously it's a terrible year and a terrible season for Michigan. And I said coming into this year before the Western Michigan game, I believe, I said that I could care less about this team this year. I wanted to focus on the basketball team this year, which now they they flipped. Michigan football has had a great season, and Michigan basketball is having a very
not great
terrible season compared or what they were supposed to be.
All right, enough talk about that. Time for the hot grind of the week presented by Millner-Haufen Tools. Go to millnertools.com. Use code Ryan20. Get 20% off your order. Hot grind of the week. Go, Lane.
So I'm going to go a little bit off topic from what we've been talking about all day, but I'm going to go with an NFL one. And it's that the Eagles, the team that really no one cares about after they won the Super Bowl, are going to be a great team in the next 5 years. Right now, they have, I think it's like a 56% chance of making the playoffs, or maybe a little higher, and they have a very promising young QB. They have some shaky wide receivers, but they're good. They just can't catch the ball. They have pretty good running backs, and they have a pretty average, above average defense. They have Darius Slay on their team, who's I don't know how long he's going to be there for, but I love Darius Slay.
Once a lion, always a lion.
This draft, they have, I think right now, 3 top 10 picks, or not top 10, sorry, like
guaranteed first round picks.
They have 3 guaranteed first round picks, and I think 2 of them, or I know one of them will be top 10. And saying that for a playoff team is pretty big. But the Eagles have historically made some big mistakes when they're drafting with wide receivers. And I think they missed on Jefferson.
Rager. I think Jalen Rager.
A lot of other wide receivers too.
I think it was Ruggs and then Rager.
Yeah.
Look how that turned out.
They've missed. I mean, Ruggs,
Rager, and then Jefferson, Lamb were all not taken. Judy wasn't taken. All right. So, yeah, I think the Eagles have a bright future, relatively. I mean, Yeah. That's a pretty good take, honestly.
No one really cares about the Eagles. I mean, they're kind of boring team when you think about it in some ways. You got some boring colors. Hate green for many reasons. That's all. I mean, it's kind of a weird one, but I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
That's why we have the hot grind of the week, so you can get your takes out. All right, my hot grind of the week. This year's playoff will be the best one yet. An entertaining game from Cincinnati will fall just short of reaching the national championship, and then Michigan squeezes one out against Georgia. Final thoughts on the playoff lane?
I think it will be one of the most entertaining. I mean, probably the most entertaining was the Clemson-Alabama final, the Hunter Renfrow touchdown, Deshaun Watson pass. But if Cincinnati keeps it close the whole game, or within the spread, which is 13.5 or 13.5, whatever you want to say, I think it'll be probably the best because I know Michigan-Georgia will be a great game. I mean, it's two good teams, two great defenses. One's better, and then one, vice versa. Michigan has a better offense. Georgia has a worse offense. So that game's going to be entertaining no matter what, especially as a Michigan fan. But if Cincinnati keeps it close, it'll probably be one of the most entertaining college football playoffs and not some blowouts.
Yeah. Also, in preparation for the national championship game, I'm open to ranking every college football playoff game ever that's happened. Maybe not this year's games, but from the past 6, 7 years, all those games, we can rank them in preparation for the national championship game. So let me know in the comments if you want to do that. I might post a poll on Instagram. Is that it? We good?
Yep.
All right. I want to thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate everybody hanging with us from the winter absence, if you will. Really appreciate y'all listening. We'll do that in a second. Really appreciate y'all listening. What we were referring to right then, we're going to review Spider-Man No Way Home on a different episode, so be on the lookout for that. Until now, you want to plug your Twitter?
Oh, yeah, my Twitter is ConnorLane241. You're going to see some Arsenal content, some Michigan content, some Ohio State hate content, a lot of random things, I don't post a lot. I retweet a lot. I respond to Ryan's tweets a lot because he says some pretty crazy things.
He puts me in place. Yeah, I smack talk Brady.
Oh, yeah.
He swings and misses on that. All
That's
right.
the one thing we don't agree
So
with.
you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RPC versus the World. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow the show on Instagram at The Ryan Canfield Show. That's going to do it. See you later. Go Blue. Beat Georgia.